Let's look at lines. So let's find an equation for the line with the given properties. Slope equal to negative 2/3 and containing the point 1 comma negative 1. So first we're told the slope is negative 2/3. So we often see slope represented with the letter m. M equals negative 2/3. And in our point we have an x value and a y value. So remember, an equation of the line, at least in standard form, is represented using y equals mx plus b. Let's substitute into this what we know, the y, the m, the x, and then we can solve for b. There are other ways to solve for this, and you are free to use those if you remember them. I tend to stick to just using one equation to keep things simpler. So substituting negative 1 in for y, and negative 2/3 in for m, and 1 in for x, we have negative 1 equals negative 2/3 times 1 plus b. So negative 1 equals negative 2/3 plus b. Let's add 2/3 to both sides. Negative 1 plus 2/3 is negative 1/3, so b is equal to negative 1/3. Going back to our equation, y equals mx plus b, let's substitute in negative 1/3 for b, and we get y equals negative 2/3 x minus 1/3. That is our equation. Let's find the slope and y-intercept of y equals 5. Y equals 5 is a horizontal line. Every point on that line has a y value of 5. If we wanted to look at it without trying to memorize like an acronym of sorts, we could write this equation as y equals mx plus b. And here, our slope would be 0 because we don't have an x term. And our y-intercept is our 5. So we could write this as y equals 0x plus 5. That means that our slope, our m, is 0. Please do not say there is no slope, because what does that mean? Does that mean slope is 0? Does that mean slope is undefined? To me, the term no slope is ambiguous. So slope here is 0. The y-intercept, which is the number in the spot where the b is 5. Or as a coordinate 0, 5. If we had a vertical line, like x equals 5, we would have undefined slope. And in the case I just gave, x equals 5, there would be no y-intercept. Let's find the equation of the line containing 2, 3, and 4, 0. Again, there are different formulas you can use, but I try to keep it simple and just always use y equals mx plus b. So we can label our first point with x sub 1, y sub 1, and our second point with x sub 2, y sub 2. We do need to use the additional formula of calculating the slope, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Substituting in, m equals 0 minus 3 over 4 minus 2, or m equals negative 3/2. So that's our slope, negative 3/2. So if I go back to y equals mx plus b, we can substitute in our slope, y equals negative 3/2 x plus b. You can choose either point, 2, 3 or 4, 0, and substitute those values in for x and y. I'm going to choose 4, 0, but it doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer no matter which one you choose. Substituting 0 in for y and 4 in for x, so 0 equals negative 3/2 times 4 plus b. Negative 3/2 times 4 is negative 6, so we have 0 equals negative 6 plus b. I'm sorry, I know that my 6's and my b's look very similar when I handwrite them. If I add 6 to both sides, I get b equals 6. So substituting that back into that equation, we have y equals negative 3/2 x plus 6. And that is the equation of our line. Let's look at one last example. Find the equation of the line perpendicular to x minus 2y equals negative 5 and containing the point 0, 4. Okay, so we are looking for a line that's perpendicular to the line we're given. Let's first take this line, like x minus 2y equals negative 5, and put it in standard form so that we can identify its slope. So if I subtract x from both sides, we get negative 2y equals negative x minus 5. Divide both sides by negative 2. Y equals positive 1/2 x plus 5/2. So our original slope is 1/2. If we were looking for a parallel line, we would use that same slope. We would know that m would be equal to 1/2. But here we're looking for the slope of a perpendicular line. So we need to take our original slope and find the negative reciprocal. So we're going to flip the fraction and change the sign. So our slope is going to be negative 2 over 1, or simply negative 2. So again, starting with y equals mx plus b, we'll put negative 2 in for m, y equals negative 2x plus b. And we've got our point 0, 4. We've got an x value, a y value, but you hopefully can recognize that this is actually the y-intercept. So 4 is the y-intercept. 4 is our b. So we could go directly to just writing our equation. Y equals negative 2x plus 4. And that's my equation of my perpendicular line.